Alright, shit. Hopefully this works better. It turned out I did cancel the subscription on that app. So I'm going to do the regular Record It app. I've got 3 different recording apps, and I'm trying to figure out how we can work it out so I can get Discord to work on them. So with that being said, I'm going to have to figure that out and go from there. So bear with me through the process. I may be an old man, but I'm giving it the old college try to get squared away here. Anyway, so what I was discussing in the video where there was no volume, which leads me to believe that there is something to be said for proofreading and maybe make sure your video has sound before you post it, which here we are. So what I was discussing in the video was reevaluating your account, and the best way to do that is to play super elite opponents, like opponents that you know you're gonna have to play a perfect battlefield to beat, and really to even hang with them, you're gonna have to play the perfect battlefield. So I was under the impression that I was sitting as an elite defensive keep. And I sat at K40 for a long time. And I added some troops, and I kept improving. I mean, my buffs were getting better, my debuffs were getting better, so I continued to improve. But yesterday, I took a vicious beating from server 68, the Alliance Neff. Neff are beasts. Here's the thing. The buffs did not blow my skirt up. They really didn't. I've faced buffs considerably higher than what these were. They rallied smart. It was concise, calculated rallies designed to wipe out certain layers of troops, and they were really, really full. I mean, we're talking getting right at 100 million troop rallies. So without any further ado, let's go into this. So this led me to believe and understand, okay, I need to push, I need to maybe even do upgrades when it's not time, when I can't wait for resource event for everything that I'm going to do, because right now I'm looking at the resources I have and I'm like, well, I can't sit and wait. I can't sit and wait. I am going to wait this time, because we're closing in on, this event should be done a week from, well, today. So with this being said, go into this. This is me against Neff first rally. Beast, right? That's 94, almost 95 million troops. And then we look at the buff. 3565 on the siege, 2921 HP. We're nowhere even close. I really want to push to get 1500 siege HP to buff, but it's going to be really hard to get there. So it is what it is. And the battle detail. I mean, I had 3 reigns. 1 was ground, 2 were siege. If it had all been siege, it would have been better. But it is what it is, and no one has 3-4 siege marches that they can send out. So it is what it is. With this being said, You look at what they did. They cleared the 15s. Here's one thing I haven't taken into account. I have not looked at how many of them have 16s open. But that's something I can look at after this. But yeah, like I've not ever, since I've gotten T15s, had them wipe my 15s, 14s, 13s, and bite into the 12s in one hit. That has never happened. And then let's just look down at the bottom and see what they cleared out. So they got the 14s, a majority of them anyway. Or the 4s, I mean, and that's all they hit was the 4s. And I don't see anything on the low tiers that did any significant damage. On the Siege, anyway. And I just want to go back and see. The T9 Siege killed 1.1. That's not a lot. T10 Siege only killed 337. T11, 4 million. T12, 7 million. T13, 24. So to do better, if I were to fight these guys again to do better, I'm going to go ahead and say that I should probably build more 14s and 13s, I guess. Or maybe 12s. It's hard to say. But now let's go and let's see how many of these guys had T16s. Well, there's one. There's two. So far, two with T16s. Three with T16s. And the last guy sent a lot. So this one was probably a lot more positive than I realized. But they still messed me up. Neff is just that good. I mean, you got, when you think Continent 1, you think Neff, you think Hot, you think GOT, you think RSP. Like, those are the guys. And they're, it's just a completely different level. It really is. I mean, we do well. We usually finish in the top 10 echelons. But when you're talking the difference between the top 10 and the top 5, these guys just have the stuff. And we tried to dig deep and fight against them, and we just did not have nearly a big enough shovel. So here came the second hit, and this one was gnarly. Sent Siege again. Look at that. Look at that 5.6 with the, so we'll just figure 6.1 versus a 7.6. That's, for me, that's not even, that's nowhere near acceptable. And especially when I look at the buffs. And I understand it's a much bigger rally than I've ever faced before. Maybe in All-Stars. But it's still, in my opinion, completely unacceptable. And there was Siege again, and I've still got a ground rain and a Siege rain. And this one just tore through everything, right? Tore through the 15s, tore through my archers all the way down. They didn't get my 12s. They cleared most of my 13s and most of my 14s. Wiped out the 12 Siege. T11, they wiped it out, They only got 2.5 million kills out of it. Look at that. The 10s did nothing. The 9s did nothing. The 8s did nothing. The 7s did nothing. The 6s did nothing. The 5s did nothing. And in my opinion, this comes down to a quantity overload. They just had so many siege machines just hailing down on me, and I didn't have enough rain to compensate. I mean, if I'd had 20 million siege machine rains, it might have made a difference, and I think we probably would have been positive. But also, I'm a player that doesn't believe on counting on rains to have a good defense. I think you have to consider worst case scenario and be prepared to defend against a rally, and you may not have any rains. You may be legged out, or someone may have decided, oh, I'm not going to press the speed button. Maybe Tim survives, maybe he gets effed. And 25 million, 30 million rain would have made a big difference, I feel, in this one. Third one, it did not get any better. It was still ugly. 7.4 against 7. 7.4 billion they lost 7 billion. So gnarly again. And then let's see, are there 16s in the mix? There are. It doesn't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, I got destroyed. And it doesn't matter. Lady Loki, look at the wolf. That march is gnarly. She killed heaps. Well, yeah, her 13s did, her 12s did. Yeah, she killed a lot. Oh, and this is what I'm talking about. The falling off on the research. The debuff still continues to get better, and the buff continues to get better. And I think the goal should be to get something up, even if it's a 0.5%. Get some area bumped up every day. And then the defense lost. This was perfunctory, right? I mean, they just ran through me. But this may give me a good example of what to look at. T-14 ground, pretty much decimated, didn't do anything. Oh, they sent Cav, no wonder. I got smashed. Completely smashed. It didn't even really matter that I had a fair amount of archer left. It really didn't. But in looking at this, it may make me consider something, right? So the archer, they sent Cav and the archer got destroyed. And I had a fair amount of archers. I really did. I mean, my T4 is 12 million, T3 is 25 million, T2 is 29 million, didn't really kill anything. T1s, oh, they killed 845, whatever, nothing to write home about, that's for sure. So with that being said, maybe there is a place to consider ranged attack flats if I can manage them somewhere. And I really don't think that I have any place to really do that. So that's an issue. But yeah, in reevaluating my account, it's like, yeah, the falling off on the research for, I mean, I've let it stay at this K40 research for probably a year. I know it's been at least a minimum of 2 all-stars. So yeah, that's a year. That's a year, solid year of pissing it off. So, and you need to do this. Like, you face so enemies and you smash them, right? You know, as long as you have a good team, good teammates, smart play, you smash them. You don't really know how good you are, or you don't know even if you're good. But now, I know. And right now, as far as like going against the elite teams, I can't. I cannot run with those people. Clearly, right now, it's not even on the table. It's not even a thing. Because they zeroed me in 4. They manhandled me. So with that being said, it's time to reevaluate. I think everybody does need to do this. Reevaluate where your account is, reevaluate where you're at, and then look at things and decide, like, okay, how am I going to fix this? Because it's a serious problem. So that's what I need to consider. And maybe it's finishing off the wall dragon and bump up my archer attack in that manner, and then go ahead and take 1 book, and which I kind of feel like I should do 1 book anyway. I kind of feel like I should take my wall general and I should do 1 archer flat on him. If I even have refining stones, because I did a bunch of advanced refining and I may not have any. He sort of got siege attack, range attack. Siege attack, range attack. I might be able to keep the flat. That one's the highest. I didn't get it. I like to do just 4. Generally, if you do 4 and you don't get it, you're probably going to do 44 before you do get the one you want. So with that being said, good enough for the girls I go out with. That's not funny. Okay, so that's kind of my shtick on reevaluating your account, reevaluating your keep, and I did see something that I think could help me against mounted attack. So, moving onward. Evaluating generals. I'm going to touch on this. Like, this is really basic, right? But a lot of people go off the spreadsheets, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm old school. I don't like to go off the spreadsheets. I like to write everything down. And I do this for my alliance and my server. Basically, it's my way of figuring out and being 100% sure where we're at. And so I'll go through everything. So when people ask, I'm like, this is exactly what you're getting. This is every bit of everything that you're getting. So here's the issue with Evony, and I feel like a lot of the generals get bumped up really quick. So let's take one that's been out for a while. Let's take, I'm looking for an archer. You know what, let's go down and let's use Louis. Louis's not morbidly old. He came out shortly before Agrippa. Now, if you get Louis and you look at the base stats and why I deem general attributes are so important, this is why. This is a flat number. The flat number is what all your percentages are going to run off of. So the higher your general attributes, of course, the higher your buffs are going to be. So with Louis, we've got a 114, a 121, a 118. So let's remember that. 114, 121, 118. Let's compare that with the new one, who I can tell you already is massively beyond him. 124, 135, 118. Sick. This starts 14 points ahead of him. And Louis not an old general. He's really not. Like some people are like, oh, that's a really old general. Okay, so what do you want? Agrippa? Agrippa was the best archer general before Ragnar came out, and we're talking 117, 120, 113. Not really any difference. His attack is actually weaker. Godfrey, 119, 121, 111. Merlin, 123, 129, 121. The Merlin does close in, but still. And it makes you wonder, maybe Ragnar Merlin is an option. I didn't get the second Fancy General. So for me, I can build Ragnar, which I'm doing, even though I've got a good archer. But I do have a skin for Ragnar, which is the first general skin I've ever gotten. So I kind of want to build them, and I kind of want to use them. And I'm only 1 or 2 general scrolls away from having him completely being able to awaken him. So, well, let me go through this and I'll show you guys exactly what I do. So when I'm evaluating, the first thing I do is look at the general attributes. You want them to at least be a minimum equal to the one that you would be replacing. Ideally, you should be higher, or the refined number goes up at a higher rate. So this is the first step, general attributes. 124 HP, 135 attack, 118 defense. Let's go into his special skill. Range attack and defense by 45. He's an attack general. Range and siege HP 35. Then the Ascension. Troop attack 15. March size 8. Range attack 10. Range attack 35. Defense and HP 20. So Awaken, he's going to be a beast. And one of my teammates has Awakened him. And he is pushing 4,500 buffs. So, solid. So that's how you evaluate. Look at the attributes. Look at the special skill. And then go through this. This is going to be pretty standard. They stay pretty close to the middle of the road here. So you're going to get a 6% and an 8% in the Ascension. So you can get a 14% march size. His kit is really good. A 14% march size. Let's see if there's any more here. Range attack, march speed, drain capacity, marching range troop defense, and rally range troop attack, marching. So there is no more march size in there. And just for shits and gigs, let's go to Merlin. Because I'm using Merlin right now, and I'm just sitting here wondering if he brings any march size. And I see none there. You get 5% in the Covenant. So, even without Ascension, well, you couldn't, it wouldn't count anyway. But yeah, Ragnar is going to be better than Merlin as far as the march size cap and the buffs. So that's how you work it. General attributes, special skill and Ascension. If he is one that you're going to build all the way out, go through the specs. And then Covenant, add it all up, compare it to the general that you're fixing to replace. If the numbers add up in your favor, then it's the right move. So, to answer questions that were brought up, I talked to my leaders and players that perennially make all-star finals. Attack specs on duty officers. Now, I feel like there may have been a miscue on the communication. I feel like what was meant to be said is it's not all attack buffs that come from specs don't work. I think what was meant by one of our family members here was This one does not count, and it does not. This one does not count, and it does not. This one, note at the top, apply to trap factory officer. This will apply. This will apply, which I have not actually tested it. I mean, my buffs kept getting better and better and better, and I wasn't really testing them, if I'm honest. I did notice that after bumping these guys up that my numbers were different, so in theory it was tested in a manner, but it wasn't a controlled test at all. So for those of you that need that for it to be proven true, you're not going to get that here. I'm very sorry. I do the best I can with the knowledge that I have. I base everything on reports. I give as close to actual knowledge as I can give with what I have personally and what I've seen in reports. So, with that being said, if you're a subscriber, a follower, I guess you're going to have to trust the information I've given you that has probably made you better. And I guess that's the ground I'm standing on. I mean, my resume is on the battlefield. Last SVS, I scored 40 billion points. I was negative 300 million. But in reviewing it and talking about it with my teammates, I'm like, okay, well, we sent some pretty ill-advised rallies at the time that were negative. So for anyone to say I had a bad SVS or point a finger at me, like I would point out that yes, I'm almost always positive. I was not positive this time, and 300 million points is not that much, really, because I've seen a majority of my players, and a lot of them bigger than me, be a lot more negative. I mean, billions negative than when compared to a 300 million. But I would point out that the rallies that we thought would be good when we started, and it is what it is. I mean, do all of us join rallies and in our mind we're like, this is not going to be a good rally, but I'm going to join it anyway? Yeah. Do we say anything? Usually not. Should we? Maybe yes, maybe no. But there's also been times where we've done ill-conceived rallies and we ended up zeroing a really big player. So it is what it is. Now moving on to subgenerals. So this is a gray area as well. And I understand where the thought and the comment comes from, because people would tell people that, they probably didn't say that the books don't work. They may have. But most times, the way I would word it is these books won't matter if you have low-tier troops. Because this is not... Number 2 applies, right? So that one's good. But number 3, I don't send subgenerals on solos. So it is what it is. I'd never take advantage of that one. So I get, like, this isn't going to help you a lot. And, like, these aren't going to help you a lot because you got low-tier troops. But when I look at my subs, so this guy is in a sub with T-15s. So with this being said, this is significant, and the mounted HP, I think that's worthy of note, because it's going to help those. I mean, they're T-15s, so it's going to help those troops survive. It's going to help those troops kill, and then we've got mounted troop Aries, so it's buffing up the mounted, so they will survive better. They're going to have higher health points, and then of course the last one is always the debuff, and that's the point of this. Like, Oh, a lot of, well, that's a lot of runestones. Yes, but if you want to have access to this, you have to do the 1, the 2, and the 3. Even though going into it, 1 and 3, if it's a low level subsidy, 1 and 3 aren't going to do shit for you. I mean, you'd really be better off refining gear for flats. That's a concept, right? That's the idea is, everyone wanted to have low-level subsidies. Well, you have low-level subsidies, the troops train a lot quicker. You won't be without buffs. Yeah, but it's kind of a revolving door in in Wounded. Like you're always going to have like next to nothing as far as troops. Your revival rate is like super crucial now because it's saving you from losing debuff completely. It's a revolving door process there. And, if you're rallied again 2 or 3 times, say it's All-Stars, like now you're starting all over again because all your troops are in the subsidies. So, yes, this will only apply with high-tier troops. This will apply anywhere. This will only apply for your high-tier troops. It'll still apply on your low tiers, but it ain't going to do anything for you. And then this is the pot of gold at the end of this runestone rainbow. The 5th spec, which is something that was brought up. This one you can't see it, but in the next upgrade, it starts to debuff. Same with his buddy here. So I put this book. These books are here for the debuff. They're not there for the attack. It just so happens this sub-general also has T15s in his sub. So for him, this does matter and this does count because you're getting in all troops, la-da-da-da-da-da, and you're also getting a flat number for the troops as well. So this is significant. But I wanted to go through and cover everything that I did cover in the previous video that had no sound. And I feel like this covers it pretty well. Reevaluating your city. Evaluating generals. Picking and choosing with all the things that we look at. General attributes, specs, special skill, ascension, covenant. And a skin if applicable. So with that being said, that's how you evaluate generals. And then the duty officers and sub-generals, to the best of my knowledge, and this is asking many players across many servers what their experience is on it, I have explained how it was explained to me, which is pretty much where I stood before the comments came out. And I'm not discouraging people asking comments or asking questions or being like, well, I heard this, well, I heard this. And here's the issue. There are players that do have knowledge and there are players that do know things that not everybody knows. But sometimes with the way they word it, they can throw someone completely off track. In my server, everyone knows if they ask a question, I'm going to give them an answer. And then I'm going to explain it. So it's 100% clarity. Like, they know exactly what I mean. They know exactly what I'm saying. And that's part of it. If you are going to be a player that's going to teach things, and you are going to be a player that helps players get stronger, explain it tell them the answer, tell them what they are wanting to know, but then also explain it and make sure that they understand, because a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people, it'll be worded wrong, and then like they're going to pass that information on to someone else, and that person will pass it on to someone else, and then pretty soon you do get this this rumor, and it's passed off as gospel now that, oh, the attack specs don't work on the general. Well, they work on the general. It's just with low tier troops, it's not giving you any advantage. So it's better to just wash that out completely and be happy with that. Well, let me see if I can get a marksman's buff here. What do you got? I just I bought the last bit of VIP out of the auction this morning. That allowed me to go to VIP 22. So I've been kind of excited about a little bigger march size and some of the extras that you get. But, you know, long game, and this is something I've been explaining to my teammates, and I think it's kind of an important thing, is we compete every weekend in this game, every battlefield, every SVS. We're pushing ourselves as far as we can. But I said to him, but even the bigger picture yet, have fun. We've been playing this game a long time. And after a while, certain things become less important, and the game does kind of wane off for you because you're like, you know, I've got 2 battles a week that I care about, and you get burned out on killing boss monsters, and you get burned out on gathering, and the resources are at such a high level here, and let's be honest, it's a rich man's game, and when you get to the point where you're getting tired of spending and you're kind of getting burnt out on the game, it's time to consider stop coining, or coin just enough to get your keep levels, your wall, your military academy. Keep that stuff still going. The rest of it, it's really unnecessary. There are a few things here and there. This dude is trying to back up into this parking spot. I'm at my hotel, right? So I work on the road, and this guy's like trying to back up, and he is more hammered up than a football bat. He really is. This dude looks like kind of dog shit. Anyway, back on point. I basically wanted to redo that video so that I did have a video with the same, or relatively close to the same content, with sound, so I can explain what's going on instead of y'all just like seeing pictures with zero sound and you're like, what's going on? It's like the freaking ventriloquist dummy that Jeff Dunham uses. You know what's his name? He's got the goofy hair. He's like purple, and you know, in his shtick, it's like when something's said that makes absolutely no sense to that creature, he just gives this weird ass look like, what's wrong with you? Like, yeah, that's what most people, I picture most people looking at the damn screen like, oh gee, thanks a lot, just what I wanted. A video with absolutely no sound. Really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off. It's been a good week. A lot's been going on. I did get to VIP 22 finally. I've got the new champion, and I've got her to 16. So that's been going well. And yes, I have spent a lot of money this week. What else? There's something else I was excited about. Oh, my treasures. I'm finally getting close to where I can get like the next level of treasures, and which is nice because the next one's going to be so far off. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm not even going to be thinking about it, because I'm going to be like, it is so far off. I don't even need to worry about it for like a solid year. But yeah, a lot going on right now. I think next event, I really feel like next event we could get something significant. When I look at what we got this time, we basically got another assistant ground general. He could be a main that you build all the way up. And then we got another duty officer. But I feel like next event's going to be pretty solid, which I think this is not a resource event week. So this is a speed up event. So that means the next event's going to be RSS event, and I think it's going to be badass. I'm doing Military Academy 6, and then depending on available, well, it doesn't matter because I'd have to do Army Camp 41. To do another keep level, I'd have to do the walls. So if there's enough, I could do the Shrine, which I need to get 42 for it to be significant at all. So most realistically, probably victory column or rally spot. But this is Ghost Rider Server 48 signing out. I hope you enjoy this video a lot better than the last one. And we'll talk to y'all soon. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment, and I'm always open to any new video ideas. I have a few to cover here in the near future, which I will do to the best of my ability. But signing off for the day.